anybody's issue, that was one of the main reason that brought us to the oils was because of my son. He was 2 at the time and had really chronic respiratory issues. And so this kind of stuff was a lifesaver for us. Summer can be really hard, especially on the kids. Oh wait, I forgot to move my slide. So these are the oils, and on the slides just kind of has what the oils are. So if you want to write it down or screenshot it. And for you on Facebook, if you can't see them, then I'll post them in the group later tonight. Okay, so typically in the summer, there's a lot more smog and air pollution and really high pollen. The levels and increased mold growth due to high humidity, and that all usually causes a spike in these types of problems. If you're prone to this, there's a really good website that you can check. It's called airnow.gov, and you can actually go on there and check your local pollen. We have one, there's another one called Pollen People that you can check. I used to have to check these things regularly if we were going to even leave the house, because I homeschool, and so a lot of times we would go to, homeschooling mom of 6 or 3 at the time. You want to get out of the house, you can't stay. So going to the parks and zoo and things like that, I had to check these things every single day before we left the house. If levels are high, it may be best to stay indoors if you can. So these are the top oils that I like to have on hand for respiratory support. Eucalyptus blue, hyssop, raven, RC, Dorado azul, and peppermint. And our favorite ways to use them are just applying topically to the chest, on the bottom of the feet, also on the tops of the toes is where like the bronchial tubes are on Vitaflex, so that is a great place to put them. We have used, if it's really, we don't typically have to do this anymore, but when we were first starting, we did use oils in a nebulizer. So frankincense is great, like 1 drop in there with, adding the rest water. Copaiba is really good for like inflammations, things like that in the chest. And then if it's really chronic, you can search the groups for suppositories and enemas. Good times. So next we have swimmer's ear. Okay. Whoa. Just happened. Okay. So swimmer's ear. Harmful germs and parasites can actually spread in the public pools. Okay. And especially if these public pools have insufficient pH. So I know our neighborhood just opened a neighborhood pool last year. So I'm going to share my tips and tricks as far as dealing with chlorine and things like that, how you can kind of protect yourself and detox from those things. But ear care is especially important during the summer months when heat and humidity can fuel the growth of bacteria and fungi that cause swimmer's ear. So here are little tips, a couple of tips. I don't know why this keeps doing this. Sorry. You can apply a couple of drops of eucalyptus or any of these and just, rub behind the ear. We like to put it behind the ear and then rub, kind of down to kind of help those tubes that are right here by the ears. You can wait a minute and then follow with 2 to 3 drops of rosemary oil and do the same thing. So we do a lot of layering versus rollers. So I know a lot of us are, we like making the roller bottles and things like that. They are effective, but when you are dealing with something that's an issue and it's not just, that it could progress into something more, then we like to layer our oils. And we typically don't dilute.
Which eucalyptus?
Any of them. Yeah, my favorites are Eucalyptus globalis is my favorite, but that's just because it was Oliver's favorite at the time too, so we use that one a lot. Rosemary will help fight bacterial and viral infections. So make sure if it's just one ear, you're going to treat both ears. Don't just treat the one that is hurting or throbbing or whatever. This will allow balance to the body and prevent the other ear from becoming infected also. Another tip is you can do 1 to 2 drops of lavender in the same way. We can also do put it, a couple of drops on a cotton ball and just stick it in the ear. If you have littles, you kind of just put a Band-Aid on top of there so they don't, dig that out. But don't put the oils directly in the ear. Okay, we want to keep from, anything like that. So, putting sometimes I'll put a drop of oil on my finger and rub it around like that, and kind of just do the wet willy like that. But cotton is really helpful to use that as well. Also, applying a warm compress to the ears. I'm sure a lot of you mamas know these anyway. But hot compresses, even what do you plug in?
Heating
Oh my gosh. Even heating pads are great too, because they actually drive the oils into the body. So for things like, we do a lot of oils on the spine if anybody's dealing with something like I think might become viral or infections, and then we will put the heating pad on top of them and then just let them lay there. We call it cooking them. So another thing you can do is you can use 1 to 2 drops of thieves. You can put that on the bottom of the feet. We all know how to use that as immune support. Also for littles, this is a really great tip. If you have any kids that it burns, you can take a toothpick and just kind of dip it in there in the thieves bottle if you take the orifice off, and then just kind of swirl that around in some like applesauce. And all my littles have been able to take it that way if I feel like I need to get it into them orally.
I'm sorry, what did you say you added?
Thieves, just put the toothpick in the thieves and then swirled it in applesauce.
Oh.
So this is my favorite oil for ears, is Melrose. It's an amazing oil. So anything dealing with the ears, or it's helpful with ears and teething. And it's also really great with pain relief as well. So that's a great one to use. And again, the way we like to use it is putting it on a cotton ball and then sticking it in the ear. Last year, actually it's been the past 2 years, is really the only time that we've dealt with swimming and ear issues. It's just because we didn't have a pool or we didn't swim a whole lot, but the last 2 years we have, and we've had some ear issues outside of teething babies. Okay, food poisoning. This is another,
I just had a quick question with the swimmer's ear, because me and my kids get that every year. So do one of those help pull the water out of the eustachian tubes? Or would you do peroxide?
I would do the peroxide if you think it's okay, there's some stuff in there, then I would do the peroxide first, and then, because sometimes the peroxide helps with inflammation. Yeah, with inflammation in there too. So that's what we do.
Okay.
And then if it's really chronic, you might think about getting some earplugs. Just for
I use Melrose on an airplane.
for the ear popping. Great idea.
And while I'm sorry, more time for having stuff. Michelle's getting the balance scan set up.
Oh, great.
So we don't want to wait until after. So
Yes.
if you want to do the balance scan, it's $30, and she'll be set up back here at the back.
Awesome.
So just kind of, if you want to do that, just kind of.
And the difference between the balance and the Zyto is it's just, this is typically the program where if you were to go to a naturopath, this is what they use. So it's a very, very effective diagnostic tool. So she'll be doing those, and you can just.
I'm sorry, the ear popping, is it like airplane ear popping?
Yeah, just to keep that drainage going, anything close. You put it on top of it, just did what she did.
Put it rubbing on.
Yeah, same.
Awesome. Okay, so food poisoning. The United States Department of Agriculture estimates that foodborne illnesses are 2 times more common during the summer months than during other parts of the year. And that's because of the bacteria that cause food poisoning to grow faster in hot and humid weather. And last year we actually did get our first bout of food poisoning and it was terrible. So one thing we know is we, make sure that if you're going out on picnics or 4th of July, that it's kept in an ice chest. Food's not, sitting out too long, and those things. My favorite supplements and oils, and also suggested in the desk reference, is Digest and Cleanse. That is amazing. And that's a supplement, so the oils are already in the capsule. Then you could do 5 to 10 drops of Digize in a capsule, 3 to 5 times a day. Also 3 to 5 drops of peppermint or fennel over the abdomen. So the important thing is when you are dealing with something like you're going to want to apply it or take it, pretty often. Not just applying it once and then expecting it to go away. Like staying on top of that.
Would you use them together?
You certainly could. Yeah.
How many and how often would you take the digesting cleanse?
I would be, if I had food poisoning and I was ralphing, I would be taking it probably every time I was in the bathroom, at least. Again, if it's chronic and you're desperate enough, it is effective as a suppository.
Especially if you're throwing up.
Yeah,
And
if
you
you're-
can't
if
keep
you're-
it down,
yeah.
it's gotta go the other way.
Yep, exactly. Okay, this is a biggie during summer. Oh, whoops, that's not it. Oh wait, yeah, hypothermia. Overheated, exhaustion. So heat waves can be especially deadly in urban areas. Hyperthermia, a group of heat-related illnesses ranging from heat exhaustion to heat stroke. So just really be mindful. We all know that living here in Oklahoma, you need to have, some type of way to hydrate yourself. One of my favorite things, especially with kids, is I save the Thieves bottle, and I'll just fill it up with water, and then I'll put maybe, 5 to 10 drops of peppermint in here. Babies especially don't sweat. They don't have sweat glands, so they just can overheat really easily. And this is just a really easy way to, not in the face, but, on the shoulders, neck, back, and it will really, really cool you down. So if you are one of those that rides motorcycles in the summer, anything like that, this is a super, super good tip to have. And then, of course, Ninja Red. We like to buy the packets in the summer, and we freeze those. And so the kids love those. They're amazing. They're very satisfying frozen. Okay, hand, foot, and mouth. It's like the gift that keeps giving. So this, it's how it is, like the church nurseries. When you've got all the little kids and they're just, drooling all over, that's just how it goes. And this is highly, highly, highly contagious. So these are a couple of tips. Actually, this virus loves the summertime, and it affects usually the younger children, 10 and under. Melrose, we always have Melrose, Purification, Lavender, Thieves, and Mountain Savory. Because this is a virus, we do a lot of the oils on the bottom of the feet. Melrose is not, I put Melrose in my mouth a lot. For like gums, it's great for your gums. If you have any type of tooth related, owie, it's great for that. But so I'm saying all that to say if we've put it in the kids' mouths too, if there have been sores in the mouth, and it helps so fastly. You can dilute it if you want. I don't. But if you're first starting and you just want to, try it out, you can dilute it a little bit. But it's it's not intense. It's less intense than Thieves. So, you can apply a couple of drops on the bottom of the feet, and also we like to talk about, doing oils on the spine and things like that, especially for viruses, for viral things, because a lot of times viruses can get stuck in the spinal column when it's trying to move out of the body. So that's why raindrop is super, super effective. Okay. Next is Lyme disease. So I don't know if you guys, how many of you guys, since it was just released last summer, how many of you have used the insect repellent? Okay, I'm going to show you a tip of what I do. I'm going to pass around. This is the insect repellent by itself. You can, just be mindful. It's super greasy and oily. But, hey, Nicole, will you pass this? You can smell it. It smells good. I like to take the insect repellent and maybe fill it up to that, maybe right there. And then I fill it the rest of the way up with witch hazel. It helps it last longer. And, you'll see if you've used it, it's kind of oily. And this,
It doesn't last for,
Yeah.
Is it very much?
Yeah.
Or,
and it's super effective, even diluted.
What was the ratios again?
I don't know, it's like
It looks
a
like
little bit of that, a little bit of
a
Yeah.
fourth maybe.
a dash of this, a splash of that. Here, you're gonna pass this around. And that we can see. You can, and also just be mindful, like, the kids, I don't really care, but if you're putting this on, it is oily, so just watch out for your clothes. Okay? What was your question?
I you know those
Bracelets.
ribbon
Oh, yeah.
hair ties?
Uh-huh.
I soaked a couple of them.
Oh, that's a
in
great
there and
idea.
put it on my kids, like on their wrist and on their ankle when they were outside. And
That's a
it seemed
fantastic
really
idea.
helpful.
She just said that she has a hair tie and soaks the hair tie in the insect repellents, like those little deep bracelets.
I guess you could do that with your pet's collars too.
That's a great idea. So yes, that is super, super important. And I mean, it's where we live too, but ticks are just so prominent here. Like if you're like me, we go to Martin Nature Park a lot, and somebody's had a tick, but I got that out and put it in the car yesterday. So here is a Lyme formula that was kind of formulated not by Gary, but by a homeopathic person who's Indian living. So this is 2 drops frankincense, 6 drops oregano, and this, again, a lot of people don't know if they have Lyme or not, but if you were and you did know, then this is what I would do. 2 drops frankincense, 6 drops oregano, 12 drops thieves in a gel capsule. Take every 4 hours for 3 days, every 8 hours for 4 days, every 12 hours for 5 days. Keeping hydrated, lots of water. I mean, it is important. Even if I do pick a tick off one of the kids, I mean, I'm putting purification and thieves all over that area. Super, super important.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand, I didn't know what Lyme was. What is it that you put this on to prevent it, or when?
No, this is like if you got it, or if you got, because Lyme disease or ticks carry that.
Okay.
And so it can be transmitted very, very easily from the tick to the person. And so this is just a formula that's,
So I got a question, just because you're talking about, is there a way to naturally treat a tick problem in your backyard?
I am not sure. Has anybody tried to do bugs?
I mean, I do a mosquito sprayer, and he does a natural version, and he has a chemical version, so.
The what?
The dead mosquito.
It's a company.
It's a company that sprays for mosquitoes, but they treat ticks, flies, all of it.
Okay, I want you to get that.
One's organic and one's dead.
The dead mosquito, I think they're not.
What?
Yeah, the dead mosquito.
Okay.
Dead mosquito. We're talking chemical-free bug. So yeah, this is just something that I had printed out a while back, and I just keep it just in case, because having 4 boys who like to play outside, there's tickage. Okay.
In special places.
In special places. In the hidden spots. Okay. So anyway, it's important do this 2-week regimen because Lyme is really, it's a pretty nasty issue if you have it. So doing this regimen for 2 weeks, and then this is something interesting that I read the other day. When you are doing, like, let's say you do have a virus, or you're trying to get over something and you've been taking a lot of like inner defense, or you're beefing up your immune system that way, it's really important to cleanse, because sometimes when you're taking all those, like if you're taking oregano or thyme or things like that, there can actually be dead tissue that is kind of left as an aftermath. So cleansing after you've done, if you were really, really sick and you took a whole lot, and then just making sure that you started your probiotics up after your Life 9, your essential zymes, and then also raindrops. Okay. Poison ivy and oak. So 85% of people are actually allergic to the oil that's in these plants. What? Turn this on?
Start.
Better.
It's better. Okay.
Now you have a halo.
Okay, so the oil found in the sap is how we know, what we get allergic to. Especially when we had a group of boys that came home from church camp last year, and they were covered, one of mine included. It was miserable, absolutely miserable. So great oils to have, and again, we like to layer, is doing peppermint, frankincense, and purification and lavender, especially for stuff that itches. Peppermint is amazing. It really helps help it not itch so badly. So we like to have these around for, and then also, this is, who has the After Sun spray? You can pass this around. Yeah, this one too it's kind of lotiony. It's kind of like a liquid lotion, but it's so good. What'd you do? So that is the After Sun spray, and we love that. Another good tip too, Tiffany suggested last summer when they got the poison ivy, was putting the lavender in the refrigerator, which makes it a little bit colder, and it helped as well. I mean, we still had to wrap his arm so he wouldn't claw himself, but
It's good for mosquito bites.
yes, great for mosquito bites. This is amazing for any type of sunburn and things like that. So, anybody else have tips for?
I had read somewhere that using thieves or these
House
cleaner or something
cleaner?
was good to help get the oils off.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. It probably dries it
If
out.
you know that you were exposed, then wash yourself with these to get the oils off.
No, that's
I
great.
haven't ever tried it, but and then I have a recipe that I have used successfully, and it's got a lot of those in it. But I also think I had put aloe, which would be similar to the After Sun or the lavender, right? Both of them.
Yeah, lavender. Yeah.
And I think I used some rose water in there too. Oh, geranium was the other
Geranium.
really big one.
Yeah, that's great for the
Coming
skin.
up.
Awesome.
I would use the detox bath. With
Oh, detox bath. Yeah.
Yeah, and which obviously purification has tea tree in it, but if you didn't have purification, I just use tea tree
Tea tree.
for poison ivy
Or Melrose.
or Melrose, which
Melrose,
is half that. Yeah.
Awesome. Great tips, ladies. Okay. Let's talk about chlorine. Because honestly, there sometimes is no way around it unless you're just not going to go swimming. So a little bit about chlorine that you may not know. Chlorine is actually a disinfectant, and it is recognized as a health hazard. It disturbs respiratory health, and studies have actually shown increased asthma cases when exposed to higher levels of chlorine. The Oxford Journal published a study showing how bladder cancer has been associated with chlorination by drinking water, and evidence suggests that exposure also occurs through inhalation and absorption. So not all of us have, a sea salt, pool, or we don't have the ocean, unfortunately. We can go to Lake Arcadia, but it's not as fun.
No, Thunderbird, we go to Thunderbird.
So here,
I think you need a whole lot more of a detox.
Okay, so here are some great tips, and these are things that I actually do with my kids before we go swimming. So, and some of this I learned from one of the other Diamond leaders that came up in our leadership group of what she lives. Well, that was the sunscreen one. I'll go with that one. So using Cellulite Magic massage oil as you would a body lotion, apply all over the body. You do not have to be greasy to be protected. The thing to remember is that water will eventually wash off any type of product like this, so you want to reapply. Using Cellulite Magic or V6, mix in a couple of drops of geranium oil, because that's really great for protecting the skin. Also, if you have, like our neighborhood pool has a little shower outside, like rinsing before you get in the pool helps your body to keep from absorbing the chlorine. So there's a leader, one of the Diamond leaders, she has 3 kids, and they're all very active swimmers, like competitive. And so what she does, bromine and chlorine are neutralized by the geranium oil. So that's just, we'll apply that all over them before they get into the pool. So pectin is actually a based product that absorbs toxins in the body. So that would actually be our ICP powder and our Balance Complete. Both have that in there, and they are very super effective at binding up toxins so that they can be eliminated properly. Using Balance Complete in smoothies and things like that is really great. My kids' favorite way to use it is we'll put it in a blender and then adding a couple of drops of orange oil in it. You can use milk or almond milk, and it tastes, it's really like a dreamsicle kind of flavor. It's really good. Yeah. So that's how I get it in them. Adults need to, make sure that we're protecting our thyroids, because chlorine is really, really hard on our thyroid. For the kids, I kind of do this every day in general, but applying Endoflex to them on a daily basis, it really should be a daily thing for your kids, Endoflex. And you can get one of those. I like to put a roller top on top of those, and we just apply over the thyroid during my oil routine every morning with them. So for adults, protecting the thyroid from contaminants such as chlorine, bromine, and fluoride by using Thyromin is an excellent supplement. Take 1 capsule at bedtime or upon rising before and after the days of swimming. Many adults have found that Thyromin to be a great product for increasing energy and also balancing the endocrine system. When we do swim a lot, if we've swam a lot in that week, we do a couple of detox baths that week as well, which is your 4 cups baking soda, 4 cups peroxide, and 4 cups Epsom salt. You can add a little geranium into that mix as well. So now we're going to go on to, does anybody have any questions about that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen the Cellulite Magic. Is it really oily?
It is like a massage oil. So it is. I'll make up a pre-mixture, and I literally will do like 1 pump all over their body.
Okay.
So it's not filmy in the pool.
Because I lifeguard, so some of the oils and things, they sit and they mix with the pool.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't know if that would be.
And you can even, like, if you put that on in the morning before you went to
Okay.
work, it would be soaked enough into the skin, it wouldn't come off.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
The erasure for the Epsom salt for 18 months, maybe.
18 months? I mean, I still do 4 cups with my 15-month-old. So, I mean, if the only thing that I would make sure that you do is just, it can make your skin really dry and kind of itchy. So, I mean, if you wanted to start with, like, what would you say? Would you do anything different with an 18-month-old?
No.
I mean, if you were nervous about it, you could start with 2 and, 2 cups each. I just never.
They just might be really, really thirsty.
Yeah, I have
afterwards.
never had any
Yeah.
issues with any of my kids, but
Yeah.
just make sure, put some type of lotion on after, or rinse them off, after, because it can make your skin kind of really dry and itchy. So, especially before bed, you don't want them like clawing at themselves.
Someone was asking me the other day about, they heard that it was 20 minutes, that you should only be in there for 20 minutes. Because after that, then the water was contaminated. And I hadn't heard, I heard that it was like 30 or 40.
They told us they cared 40.
They taught you
Yeah.
40? Okay. And I was like, oh, I never say 20 minutes. I always say 30 or 40. I don't know if it really even matters, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, are we sitting in filth after 20 minutes? I kind of need to know that, but I didn't know if you had heard.
from what Gary and them
What do they say?
taught, they like 20 or
They-
longer, as long as you can stand it, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because the more you're in it, the more it draws out. So the more pH your body
So even
becomes.
longer than 40 minutes, you could do that. I didn't know that. Okay.
Okay, next we are going to go on to our sunscreen. So this is actually, before we had our mineral sunscreen, this is what we would do. This is the DIY version. So, and again, applying, let's say you're going to the pool, applying it enough to where your kids and you guys are not greasy, because again, like she was saying, you don't want that it can ruin the pool pumps and things like that. Let's see, please. DIY sunscreen, a half a cup of V6, 4 to 5 drops of myrrh, 4 to 5 drops of carrot seed, and 20 drops of lavender. And then again, you can either put it in a pump, you can put it in the spray bottle, however you want to. One really cool thing that we learned when I first started getting started was about myrrh. Do you know the Egyptians, how they had those huge tall hats? They're in Egypt, so it's really hot, really sunny in the desert. Well, in those hats, they actually had myrrh resin in those hats, and so it would just melt and go down all over their body, and it was a natural sunscreen. So that's one of the reasons for the hats being so high, because they had myrrh under there. Pretty cool, huh?
That is cool.
So most traditional sunscreens are usually a cocktail of chemicals that absorb right into the skin. How many of you, we've been educated enough on that we know our skin's the largest organ, so anything we put on there is going to soak in. And they actually scatter the sun's rays to prevent burning. So mineral sunscreen use natural titanium and zinc, and they actually act like a mirror to simply reflect the rays. So here is the mineral sunscreen, if you want to pass that around, if you have not had that or tried that before. It's very, very effective. And 2 of my kids out of the 6 are very sensitive, and it works great. So chemical sunscreens guard against burning rays, the UVB, but not all of them. And they don't fight the early skin aging. It is important to read your sunscreen label. And I went ahead and already told you the DIY. So you can use the DIY sunscreen. And make sure that we know that if you are swimming a lot, you're going to want to get out and reapply, especially for the littles. And also remember anything that you're making. Now, Cellulite Magic does have a little bit of citrus in it, so just be mindful of that. if you're super sensitive, because we know that citrus oils can maybe cause you a little bit to burn. I have never had a problem with citrus oils at all ever, but I know Angie has once. So just be mindful of that when you're making these things. So
How often do you apply the sunscreen, the DIY sunscreen?
I mean, I would do it like depending, like if you're just laying out or if you're in the water, depending on if you're sweating or anything like that. I would apply it like maybe every 45 minutes and just keep, tabs on, because I do have a surprise. I do have a DIY tanning oil.
Someone is asking about diluting the sunscreen. You know about diluting the sunscreen?
I have not diluted it. I don't know that I would.
I wouldn't.
Except the way that, Laura was talking, like, our mineral sunscreen is made to block the sun, so you want to apply it pretty thick. So that's like one of their products that I don't know that I would try it.
Yeah, I don't know that I would either.
Because you want it to be a block.
Yeah.
I don't know where I heard this, but maybe you can help me. I heard that people who drink the red juice, Ginger Red every day,
Yeah.
they don't get sunburned.
Yeah, that's actually, there's several people that I know. We drink more red in the summer just because of the fact that I'm getting the packets versus me just pouring them a little bit, here and there.
How it works? I'm remembering right.
It's the antioxidant value in the drink.
Hawaii has to Lantern also do that. I did it last summer. I went to New Mexico with my sister. All I did was take that supplement for a month, 3 times a day, and I did not burn. I got a tiny little bit of color, that's it. That was out just hot to New Mexico summer. Hawaii has to Lantern. It's very good.
That's awesome. I don't know. Is it?
It says reapply every 80 minutes, and I think if you were like really in the water, maybe every hour.
I mean, with little kids, I reapply anyway, just because they're like in the water all the time with even before whatever sunscreen we use. So.
I do it every hour, since I'm not there for hours.
Oh yeah.
And it works really well.
Okay, awesome. Any more questions on there, Angie?
No, someone else answered it.
Okay, so also, making sure keeping things like lavender lip balm around is really helpful for, even mosquito bites and, stings and things like that. That's awesome to have in your purse anywhere you go. And again, the Lavaderm, the cooling mist. So here is the DIY tanning oil. If you are one of those, I was one of those people that would put Crisco on and then lay on foil.
Stop it.
It was bad. I was terrible.
I know I did bad
I was
things
such a
too.
rebel.
And now look at you.
I mean, now I'm like, I am the woman at the pool with the hat.
I put iodine and mix it in baby oil, and then that's good.
Again, if you are light, fair, this probably is not for you.
We were smarter than, we just thought the name of it.
So DIY tanning oil would be about 20 to 30 drops of carrot seed and 2 capsules of vitamin E, popping those open and then putting it in like a ball, the Cellulite Magic pumper, adding it to the Cellulite Magic. And then let your bacon fry.
Iodine's good for you though. Just add some iodine in there.
Yeah.
Extra crispy. Extra crispy bacon.
Okay.
On that one, how much Cellulite Magic?
The whole bottle.
The whole,
Okay.
like, you buy the pump, yeah, the whole pump.
Never heard of this. It's so cool.
And I honestly might add, maybe more vitamin E. Okay, next is some beverages. Okay, but this is really, there's actually a Crown Diamond in leadership whose husband used to be a pretty extensive bartender at a really prestigious restaurant. And so these are his recipes. So coconut lime mojito, 15 to 20 drops fresh mint leaves, making sure to take the leaves off. 1.5 cups of coconut water, which coconut water is also really good by itself and it's very, very hydrating. 3/4 cup of pineapple juice, 4 ounces of rum, 1 to 2 teaspoons of raw honey. And that you can add more or less depending on what you like, or you can use the stevia. And then 6 drops of lime and 1 cup of ice. And I like mine shaken, not stirred. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm on the verge of delirium. Okay, next we have Ninja Red slushies, which are awesome. If you've ever been to convention, it is like one of the best things ever. It's like, they're so good.
Just stay there.
So 1 cup frozen strawberries, 2 drops of orange, 4 ounces of Ninja Red, and 1 whole peeled orange, and then you can add the stevia to taste. Like if you like it sweeter.
The slushies at convention, they're not just straight Ninja Red, they have this in it?
No, they're straight Ninja Red.
Okay, someone wants you to repeat the tanning,
Oh, the tanning.
or if you just maybe say
I'll
maybe
put these
say
slides
it.
up in the group too, but
Okay.
it's 20 to 30 drops carrot seed oil, and then 2 capsules of the vitamin E that you pop and you pour it into 1 bottle of Cellite Magic. Okay, and then one last
I wanted into the slushy.
adult beverage, Moscow Mule. Again, if you can put whatever you want in it. If you don't like alcohol at all. 1.5 ounces vodka, 1/2 cup of ginger beer, 2 drops of lime, and lots of ice.
You can also do that with tequila.
Yeah.
It's really good instead of,
You add lime?
yeah, it's like a Mexican.
Oh, okay. Yummy.
So in the slushy, you just put it in the blender?
In the blender.
You said whole orange, you take the peel off.
Yeah, you take the peel off orange, peel it, and then put it in. All right, who else has some summer tips for us?
Alcohol?
Just summer tips.
I had a question. What are you guys using for your sunscreen on your face, like during the day?
The mineral. Mineral one.
I just didn't know how, like, it was too thick. I haven't tried it yet.
No, I used it. We went to Ecuador, and I used that on my face underneath. You can also, with that, depending on if you use the minerals or not, you can add the minerals to it and kind of make like a tinted moisturizer.
Repeat.
Huh?
Someone.
Oh, we're talking about using sunscreen on the face, and you can use. I use the mineral sunscreen on my face, and I typically don't wear a lot of makeup anyway, but if you needed to, you could add some of the minerals to the sunscreen and kind of make like a tinted sunscreen moisturizer. I haven't tried to. Well, I did apply it in Ecuador. I did do it, so it was fine.
Yeah, they talked about that at beauty school.
Cause I did
Adding
mine
it to your moisturizer, just
Okay.
making it. Yeah.
Yeah, or adding the mineral
Mhm. Yeah.
sunscreen to your moisturizer.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Or putting that on and then putting your.
And then the minerals on.
Mhm.
I was trying to decide, when I first bought the sunscreen, I was trying to decide whether to put it on first or the moisturizer on first. And I finally started putting the moisturizer on first and then the sunscreen. My skin doctor, dermatologist, wants me to wear the sunscreen every day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and at beauty school, they tell you to, you go from lightest viscosity to thicker, so your moisturizer is gonna be a lot thinner, you know.
Then the sunscreen. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So the tip was, if you're layering, apply your moisturizer first and then the sunscreen second. All right, any other tips? Okay, well, we got done kind of early, so I didn't expect to read that quickly. So
You didn't make slushies for us?
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting that.
That's what I think. Actually, that's probably not a good idea to do next time.
I was gonna say something about beauty. I think it was brought up at beauty school, but they brought up bringing like the popsicle sticks and cutting the top of the packet and just sticking it in.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And then you just feel it's already on the popsicle stick.
So with your Ninja Red packet, cutting up popsicle sticks and then sticking the popsicle stick in there and letting it freeze, and then it's your already made pop.
Or you could make the slushy mix and pour it in the popsicle mold, and there you go. You can make it go a little further, and add in some multi-green.
Yeah, multi-greens is great.
Some probiotics. And sulfurzyme.
Where's it gonna end? Just put it all in there.
All
Put them
supplements,
all.
hiding it in the red. Perfect content. Yeah.
Any tips for getting chlorine out of blonde hair?
Now
Tomato juice.
just because I have my 4-year-old daughter is really, really blonde, and I've been watching, and I actually private messaged Summer Echo Hill, who is a Royal Crown Diamond, and she's been, what was it? Lutein disease. Adding that
Yes.
to her, what she
She
did?
her lavender. She added
Yes.
about 4 or 5 drops to her lavender shampoo, and then somebody else posted, "Oh my gosh, I can't.
Here,
I
come
can't
up
do
here,
that."
come up here, so we can
Get up there. Come on, now stop.
She just said she didn't want to use the Lutanzi because it's really pricey, and so it's in Valor. That's what gives Valor its blue color, and so she used the Valor instead. I mean, her results were incredible.
Isn't it decent blonde too?
Yeah.
And are you saying that took out?
It takes
The
out
green?
the green,
The
like,
green.
Okay.
instead of it's
Okay.
a purple shampoo pack. And then the other thing for natural lightening, I've seen 2 different people post with witch hazel and lemon oil and spraying their hair throughout the day. And then if you wanted direct, I think you could. She was even taking like lemon oil on her fingers and like doing pieces. I know. I should probably do that. I don't know if it covers claims.
I just saw that too. That's such a good idea.
So anyway, for natural highlight, and then one of the girls that did it, she posted before and after, and they were just in their yard working for the Saturday afternoon or whatever, and it was significant. And she had never colored her hair before.
What, with a lemon?
Yes, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, like my hair's thicker." So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Any more tips? What about your mama spray? Oh, your hot mama spray.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, that's a really good tip.
Okay, she's turning green Where's the paper bag?
You're not on the video, so
Okay.
you're good.
Well,
It's a thing.
it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
It is.
Okay, so we're all girls. If your husbands are listening on there, just turn it off for a minute. So in the summer,
You're downtown.
you're downtown. We call it the downtown spray. Okay, just use your imagination. We shared this in our convention group because it's hot, and you're walking, and you just don't feel very fresh.
And your downtown is a little downtown-ish. Yeah.
right.
Your cookie's a little bit hot.
Your cookie's getting baked. And anyway. Who's confusing your child? spray. The dog died, and I was like, well, I'm still gonna use that. And so I just, guys, it's purification, lavender. I'm not Betty Crocker. I don't measure. I just start pouring and concocting. Here's the thing, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so, purification is great, or tea tree, and it just helps with issues down there.
I make mine, I add Clariderm, like, as a filler. So Clariderm is the base.
Dang,
yeah,
that's like
right. No, it's a little,
It's a diamond
it's a
compound
good.
spray.
It is.
Hey.
Well, and if you didn't want to do
Only the
Clariderm,
best. Only the best.
if you
Don't go
did,
cheap on your downtown.
your husband's very lucky.
Uptown Lily Brown. We're
Downtown.
Lavender.
not messing around.
You got lavender.
Lavender is the budget we lost. Lavender could be a budget item instead of Clariderm. I mean, a $20 item compared to an $80 item. So you could do just a little bit of lavender, add in some. Okay. And then witch hazel. I use witch hazel with it and some water. Lavender, purification, tea tree.
Not peppermint.
Not peppermint. I mean, you could, honestly, you could do one drop. I mean, it would be very cooling. And I've taken it, I mean, I've kept it in my purse and I've sprayed all the areas.
It's a good freshener.
My hair, you know, you just,
Well, you know too, when you're outside, and especially with kids, and you smell like recess.
Right.
You know that smell,
That's
that
what it
recess
is.
smell? I mean, so using that kind of too, like for your hair and your clothes, and you know.
Do you want to repeat?
no, we don't.
Casey will do a Facebook Live here later.
So my 9-year-old walked in today, and I was like, "Woo!"
Yeah.
I was like, "Buddy, it's time to start. Like, we need to talk about using some deodorant." So that's another tip too. Your kids, as they're getting older, you know, get that mountain mist or what was the name? Meadow mint deodorant. Yeah.
Is there any oil? I have a teenager and I've tried everything and I can't handle it. Nothing works on it. I don't know what to do.
You know, sometimes they need an armpit detox. Honestly, because of stuff that's trapped in there, and body detox. We do a lot of sulfurzyme at our house. So I think that
I'm like doubling him on it because it's like.
yeah, I would do 4 to 8 a day.
What
Is
about
what I would.
brushing?
Huh?
Brushing?
Brushing?
Kind of detoxing or
The dry skin,
Dry brushing?
dry skin brushing.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was doing toothpaste and he was complaining that his hairs were getting stuck.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, you
Maybe
know what?
try a
You're gonna
deodorant
have to suck
crystal.
it up 'cause I can't handle the smell.
Yeah, purification or Melrose or something.
My husband,
That's
who's
my
a runner and gets nice and sweaty, like he uses a deodorant crystal.
The mineral, the salt.
Yeah,
You just
don't
sweat
use
it.
it.
It doesn't keep you from sweating because you're
Which you actually
supposed
need
to
to
sweat.
I've
sweat.
tried like 4
Yeah.
I've tried
You should
all the
sweat.
Canadian ones, I've tried everything. I don't know what to do. Because it's
Yeah,
bad.
I don't know. That's what we do.
I'm thinking I need
Those
to
are
maybe
some
do
tips.
more sulfurzyme eggs to get the impurities out.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have tips to share? Your summer tips?
Well, I heard someone say also spraying apple cider vinegar
Oh,
on
yeah.
before
Oh,
the
yes.
and then the smell
I've
dissipates,
heard
and then
that's
the
great.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
that's really good.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going
I forgot about that.
Like detox.
One tip I was going to share, basil, and that was a free oil. I read something that basil applied topically to the mosquito bites are really great.
So
And takes the swelling and, did we talk about
very
that?
cool.
It's in the Gentle Babies book.
Okay.
It was one of.
Yeah, it's not one that I would think of.
Yeah, so I put it in my book bag. And it's also.
Apple cider vinegar for your armpits. For a
Purification
deodorant.
on hot ball in the shoes, or just straight drops in the shoes. Like forget it, hot ball, just drop it and make it hot ball. All my kids need stuff.
I've been using those dryer balls and putting the oil on the dryer. Is that what you just said?
What? I said cotton ball.
Oh, cotton. I've been using the dryer balls and then sticking the dryer balls in the shoe.
Yeah, that's good.
Just so I don't have to I can reuse it.
Right. And then for poison ivy, I wish I would have known this last year, you can take a lunch sacks and dip them in apple cider vinegar, like the size you would need. and then lay them over, and that pulls out the oils, and then you can put.
Like a plastic sack?
No, like a paper sack.
Oh, okay.
And dip it in apple cider vinegar and lay it on your whole leg or wherever it might be. Because that's where we
Yeah.
want it.
Wherever it might be.
Our whole body. She would dip the whole body.
Paper sacks, just forget the paper, the
Yeah.
lunch sacks, just go for the paper bags.
Anyway, and then apply your oils on top
That's
of that.
really interesting.
Release.
Awesome. Okay, well that is all for tonight. We are going to, next month is convention. So we may or may not take the month off for this. And then July, or we might do it a different day in June. So we can do a convention recap. So everybody who's not attending convention can come, and hopefully we'll have the products and everything like that to try out for all of that. But I really appreciate you guys coming, and we're working on a couple of new great ideas for the rest of the year. Just some different ideas of even some business type things if that's what you're interested in, and even some other wellness activities.
What did you, Heather, what did you say July was gonna be?
Well, I can't
Convention
remember what
recap.
July is.
Oh, wait,
Because
no,
I think I'm going to switch the date for next month so that we can do the convention recap after everybody gets back. Oh, no, that's later in the. We are planning on probably doing a beauty school for our group in the fall, and a full makeup class and all that. So everybody to try out the makeup and.
When you say beauty school, you mean an official beauty school?
Not a corporate beauty school.
I have your makeup.
Oh yeah, I saw you bring it. Okay, yeah, if anybody does want to look at colors right now,